something I definitely want to talk about. Going into the draft, there was a lot of speculation about what the Charlotte Hornets would do as far as drafting Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson.
Yep.
They took Brandon Miller at number 2. It was Scoot Henderson the first was the original rumor.
Yep.
Things switched. Jokes came out saying that once Brandon Miller came out and said that his favorite player was Paul George, that Michael Jordan was petty and said, all right, take your ass to Portland then. I mean, whatever. But that didn't happen. Charlotte did draft Brandon Miller at number 2. What I wanted to talk to you about was you know the draft way better than me. I've seen Brandon Miller's profile. The way they're describing him seems like a heck of a player.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson, I know more about him as being in LeBron's movie than when he's on the court. He's a kid from LeBron's movie. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna act like I'm a draft guy at all. But I've read the profile on both of these guys. I've seen their highlights. They both look like amazing players. Is Brandon Miller actually the second best player in this draft, or was that a system fit, or I've already got LaMelo here, so I drafted Brandon Miller? Because if that's the case, I've got a problem with what they did.
Yeah.
I'm not a fit guy. I'm a best player available guy for sure.
I'm 100% with you there. I couldn't agree more. Like trades, free agency, that's where you go for your fit, right? What they just did with Marcus Smart.
Right.
The draft, that's an asset. You're looking to maximize that asset. You're looking to get the best possible player, right? So for me, I was a Scoot guy. I have Brandon Miller 6 on my board. I think he's really good. I'm not trying to disparage Brandon Miller, right? But and some important context is needed. He put up really good numbers at Alabama, but he also played in the most NBA-style system that was available in college basketball. Nate Oates, the coach at Alabama, he's a threes and layups guy, and that's it. He'll space the floor. He'll have a rim-rolling big. It is truly an NBA-type offense. So he's not having to deal with a lot of the spacing constraints that a lot of these top prospects are, So he was able to put everything he had on display, and that's not his fault, but that is important context when you look at this. Oh, my God, Miller was putting up these incredible numbers in college, Scoot Henderson, man, I know this isn't I can't quantify this with some statistics I couldn't show you on tape. That dude is a friggin' killer. He is wired the way Kobe, the best guys.
Yeah, when I saw him going against Wemby, I was like, yeah, that dude ain't scared of none of this shit.
I'm not betting against Scoot Henderson. The tape that he put on in G League, it reminds me so much of a De'Aaron Fox type, just power guard, get to the rim whenever he wants, and just FU finisher. And I love that. So for me personally, I'm a Scoot guy. I think it's a mistake to take Brandon Miller over him, but that's not to say I'm out on Brandon Miller at all. I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, because my thing is, when you start talking about, draft the best fit, I've already got LaMelo. LaMelo Ball is not a guy that I'm going to make, franchise-altering decisions about. You know what I mean? You think Michael Jordan, if anybody would understand,
right,
a guy who was picked, after, Sam Bowie's of the world, you would think that, because everyone knows the story, Jordan probably should have went to Portland, but Portland took Sam Bowie because they already had Clyde Drexler. You know what I mean? But you would think him of all people would realize that. I don't know enough about it, so I brought you on just to see. Because I was like, man, I've been hearing Wemby Scoot all year long.
I mean, that's what, that's what it was. And I'll tell you what, to your point about Jordan, I thought as soon as Jordan got in that room with Scoot,
they're about to f*** up.
that he was like, oh, this guy's wired like I am. I want Scoot Henderson.
That's what I would have thought too.
And so I'm surprised. I know that Jordan just sold the team, so maybe it wasn't even really his call.
But they're acting like Jordan had a lot to do with this.
I know. It's the whole thing is really weird. Brandon Miller's going to be a good player, but I'm not betting against Scoot Henderson.
I just have a theory about Charlotte. I think they're just a completely unserious franchise, and they just made another unserious. I mean, Brandon Miller's a good player.
Yeah.
But Scoot, to me, man, is that guy. And it just is another example of just unserious behavior as a franchise.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I get it. The fit between LaMelo and Scoot is kind of weird. It's not perfect. It's going to take some tinkering, But again,
you're going to be bad anyway. So just see who the better player is and do what you need to do.
To me, if LaMelo, if he doesn't like it, just trade him. Scoot's better anyways.
Because I think Scoot's one of those guys who can come in and be an impact player like a Ja Morant.
100%.
You know what I mean? I can definitely see that. LaMelo has an annoying game. It's almost like he's playing for highlights to an extent. it's not winning basketball that he's playing out there at all.